This episode is sponsored by the 2019 Mentor Project Retreat. If you haven't seen already, we are launching our 2019 Mentor Project Retreat on June 21st at 3 p.m. Central Time. It will be located in August here in gorgeous Middle Tennessee. This will be a very, very intimate retreat with less than 10 people in attendance, and it will be business focused. Don't worry, we also have a hella epic styled shoot too with Morgan Nicole, a Middle Tennessee boutique. We need to focus on marketing, SEO, and the business side of things. Am I right? This will be on a private ranch, a huge cottage, horses, acreage, and all. You can grab your spot online at www.nicolebruce.co under workshops and see the styled shoot style board.
Thank you for listening to the Mentor Project, where we discuss marketing, SEO, how to go full-time in your business, and so much more. Here's your host, Nicole Bruce.
Hey, super excited for you to join me on this episode because dang, it's a good one. This episode will be full of passion and maybe just a little bit controversial to those who use this line often. I struggle getting clients because my area is so saturated. There's just too many photographers here. Well, first of all, it's important to know that it is not your fault that you're saying this. This is the thing to say, right? Everyone says it. Everyone blames the market, the area, even other photographers for not booking clients. Today's episode will be exploring this sentence and explaining the myth behind it. All I ask is that you keep an open mind and explore with me as we can solve a lot of marketing issues today together, which that's what I'm here for, right? Helping you guys grow. So let's do this. Okay, so scrolling through Facebook many times a day, especially if you're in as many groups as I am, hashtag overkill, you will see a post about not getting clients because there's just too many other photographers out there. In the comments, you'll see preach because everyone has the same exact issue. And when I say issue, I'm saying quote unquote issue. What if I told you that a saturated area is actually the best? Why? Well, let's say you're in LA. LA is full of photographers. Like, holy Jeebus, they're crawling out of every crack in the wall and sidewalk. I get how this can be intimidating, but this is where your confidence is creeping up on you and telling you that you aren't as good as the next photographer. We look at other people's pictures and go, OMG, they look so busy. Crap, they're going to put me out of business and steal my clients. This is where the competition comes in over community. But let's get back to the example. LA has 4 million people. Holy yikes. How many are photographers? Well, a quick Google search will show that 5,000 exist on Yelp, 1,200 on Wedding Wire. Of course, not everyone is listed on those engines. Let's just say that 50,000 photographers are in LA, which is way higher than the actual amount, but we're going to use that number just to prove my point here. 4 million divided by 50,000 is 80. This means that everyone that is a photographer can have 80 clients per year. But wait, not everyone is going to want photos that year, right? So the 4 million isn't really a valid number. But let's look at this. What about the fact that 250,000 people get married in California every single year? Do you see what I'm getting at here? Now, let's say you live in a tiny town. Maybe you only really have 3,000 people in your entire town. But how many photographers do you have? 2? 5 maybe? Probably not that many. Even if you had 10 photographers in your town of 3,000 people, that would be 300 people per photographer to chance at needing pictures. Obviously, not all of them are going to need pictures, but as you can see, 300 per photographer is actually a huge number. My point is that the number of people in your city versus the number of photographers will always have a ratio. In fact, if you're in a city like LA, you have a huge advantage because the more people, the more clients. Why do you think there are so many photographers in that area? And I really can't stress this one enough because if you have 4 million people in your town and you do have a lot of photographers, you're definitely not wrong there. There are going to be a butt ton of photographers if there's 4 million people living in your city. But why do you think there's so many photographers there in the first place? People don't start businesses and stay in businesses that don't work, right? If there wasn't a clientele there, then they wouldn't be running their business. So the more people you have, the more photographers that are in that area, there's a butt ton of clients there, and you're really onto something. Again, believing the saturated client myth is not your fault, and I'm not blaming you. Unfortunately, it's a crazy thing that we hear almost every day. Everyone uses it as the excuse for why their business isn't succeeding. And it's not even that they're trying to make excuses, but the industry has made that excuse for them. So, what if you believe this myth? Clients can see when business owners are not confident in their work or in their pricing, in their marketing, etc. They see, hey, maybe they aren't a pro because they seem like they kind of doubt themselves. But if you fake it until you make it, be confident in what you're doing, stick by your pricing, your marketing, your tactics, you will grab those clients. The biggest issue with a myth like this is that it crawls into our heads and it weighs us down. It tells us, you can't do it, you just aren't good enough. There's too much competition, you'll never win. It wins our brains over and it's really hard to ignore. And when I say that, I'm not just talking about if you're just getting started. Even established businesses, even me, it crawls into our brains and it just weighs us down and makes us feel a little bit depressed about what we're doing and how much competition, quote unquote, that we have. But what I want you to do is think about these two really, really important points. Number one, like I said before, if there's tons of photographers in your area, that means there's a ton of clients too. There wouldn't be photographers somewhere if there weren't clients there. And number two, this one is actually really huge. And I pointed this out to someone lately and it kind of changed their viewpoint on this. So listen to this one. Number two, you can charge what you need to because there will always be someone higher priced than you. So let's talk about number two for a second. Along with the saying, there's too many photographers here, comes, I can't charge that much because there's just too many people. We have put into our heads that charging cheap prices will give us competition over other photographers, as if this is going to change the ball game and as if it's going to make us. Guys, there will always, always, always be $20 photographers in that same city, town, and even in that same neighborhood. There will also be a $10,000 photographer for that same exact service. My point is charge number one, what you think you're worth, and number two, what your structure you want your business to run as makes you charge. That being said, if you want to take a lot of clients, you can start at lower prices and take more clients. If you want just a few clients, charge those boutique prices, charge those high prices, and only take a few clients. Being a cheap service will not fix this issue of being in a saturated market. Contrary to our popular belief of this, cheap photographers are often overlooked because clients think they can't really be quality if they're only charging $75. A quality client that wants amazing photos won't even look at someone under say $250. In your area, that doesn't matter for what you charge either. In LA, there will be $20 photographers and there will be $10,000 photographers. In the middle of a cornfield in Iowa, there will be $20 photographers and there will be $10,000 photographers. And the $20 photographer will have just as many clients as the $10,000 photographer. Like my mom always told us, there will always be someone better than you out there. And guys, that's okay. It's how it's supposed to be. Similarly, there will always be someone cheaper than you, and there will always be someone pricier. Just think of it as this: if there's no one pricier than you, then you've won the game. But guess what? There's not really any goals to work towards anymore, right? It's like you've typed in that unlimited money cheat on your game and you really have nothing to actually earn anymore. So having someone that is better than you or someone that is higher priced than you, that's okay because it gives us goals to work towards. So, what's the answer to charging what you want, to getting clients, to operating in a saturated area? Because even though you've heard this episode right now, you're probably still sitting there and saying, Nicole, I still have no clients because there's too many people here. So let's talk about how you can get clients in these saturated areas and why saturated areas are so awesome. Number one, you need to strut your competitive edge. And big hint here, that's not your lower pricing. This is what makes you different. Also, hint here in your copy, it's not going to be the joy of capturing clients' memories because let's face it, that's a little bit too overused in the industry. What you need to do is you need to find what makes you different than those other companies, whether that's your customer service, making timelines for your clients' weddings. What makes you different and what makes clients want to book you over your competition? And number two, of course, is marketing. I know it's really hard, guys, but don't believe what you see and what you hear. You are good at what you do and you have a talent. There are clients out there for you, tons of them. Get them. I believe in you. I freaking believe in you guys. Don't let the industry made excuses get in your way of success. If you put your mind and your heart in it, you can do anything. I started really small. I grew really fast and really large. And to note, it wasn't a super saturated area, which was San Diego, LA, and Nashville. And those two are huge cities. And let me tell you, there are thousands of photographers here. My point is, if I can do it, you can too. Seriously. So get the ball rolling and go be a freaking boss. Thank you for listening to the Mentor Project with Nicole Bruce. Tune in next time for more on marketing, SEO, and going full-time as a creative.